Okay, so another feature of Making Tracks 3 is our departure boards. So we've got 3 departure boards all supplied by UK Departure Boards, Russell, and they are brilliant. So our first departure board is the very big one over at the back, and that is showing us live data from Milton Keynes. So that's actually what's happening in Milton Keynes right now. And then we've got a further 2 departure boards, which are driven by our model trains. And these show the public where our model trains are going. So we've got one for the up lines and one for the down lines. This one here is up lines, and that's showing the trains that are going to London. And they are driven by an RFID tag, which is actually on the train. That is then queries a database to display a train that is going in that direction. So we'll try the first one. So I've got a Pendolino here, which I'm driving out to the Fiddle Yard right now. And the RFID tags are, it's just going to pass on the end of the train, and it's just passing the tag now. And so this next train is going through platform 5 to London Euston.
Platform 5 will be the 0933 service to London Euston. Calling out London Euston only. Platform 5 for the 0933 service to London Euston.
And here is the train. So the general public now know that this train is going to Euston. And what we've done is it picks up the real time. So it is 9:33 at the moment. And you can see that it's going to call at Euston or arrive at Euston at 10:08. And that is the real time that it would take to get from Milton Keynes to London Euston. So we've built those timings into the database. So all the calling points, if we had a northbound train, there'd be more calling points, obviously, and all the timings are correct for those calling points. So it's quite a cool feature that we've done here, never been done before in model railways, and just brings another element to Making Tracks 3. Okay, so we're behind the scenes a little bit here, just showing you how the tags and the readers work. So on each of our trains, we have an RFID tag. Now, this is Annie and Clarabelle. So the beauty of the system is we can code up fictitious places as well. So when who's this Annie goes past the reader on the board, it displays the Isle of Sodor destinations for Thomas, which is really neat feature. So as this tag goes past this reader here, so you're facing that way, goes past the reader. In fact, we can show this. So it goes past here. And if you want to walk around, Dave, you can just see.
We're going to Sodor now, are we?
We are going to Sodor now.
And that goes through Milton Keynes, that service?
Well, obviously. So we can now see on the board that Thomas is going to Knapford and calling at places on the Isle of Sodor.
That's fantastic. It's great when the technology works, isn't it?
Yeah. So you see, it's calling at Milton Keynes at 10:53 and Knapford at 11:13.
Okay, Chris, so we've seen that work now. We've seen the departure board respond to that tag.
Yeah.
What's happening under the hood?
So the tag number, which is this is number 6, is going through your MegaPoints RFID reader boards onto the CAN bus, and it's being fed to the departure board, which has got a Raspberry Pi system inside it. And on that Raspberry Pi system, there is a database. So it's a CSV database, quite simple, but it's got all the destinations, all the calling points, and all the times in that. And for each of our numbers, I've coded up a number of destinations. So it doesn't matter that the same train goes past the RFID reader 3 or 4 times. Each time it goes past, it will display a different destination on the board.
Oh, that's clever.
Yeah, so people don't get bored of the same destinations appearing all the time. So with our northbound trains, I've got one train will go to Carlisle, one to Liverpool, Preston, Lancaster. Got all these different destinations for the same train. It's a little different going southbound because all the trains end up at Euston, but we've got slightly different ones. Now, the other thing we've been able to do is code up our freight trains as well. So on the departure boards, it also shows where our freight is going. And I wanted to do that because when you're standing on a platform, you only ever get to know about the passenger trains, but you see the freight going through as well. And so I wanted to convey to the general public, where do our freight trains end up in the country? So we've also put those on the display boards as well with the real timings.
Okay, so if I understand this correctly, the RFID reader, the blue reader here,
That's right.
goes onto a System2 board, onto the CAN bus.
Yes.
That then gets hoovered off the CAN bus by an Arduino, and we can show one of those in a minute, stuck
Yep.
on the back of a board.
Yes.
And that translates it, interfaces between the CAN bus and the Raspberry Pi in the departure board.
Correct.
And then you created the CSV file, so you can set up the mappings of destinations to tags.
Correct. Absolutely
You
correct.
can do anything you want there, really. You
Yeah,
can say anything.
absolutely. And that's how we've done the Isle of Sodor for Thomas.
Right, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Thanks, Chris.
The next train to depart from platform 2 will be the 10:01 service to London Euston. Calling out Bletchley, Leighton Buzzard, Watford Junction, and London Euston. Platform 2 for the 10:01 service to London Euston.
Yeah, you're in a minute.